External cameras on the International Space Station continuing to track Dragon Freedom. Dragon is inside 400 meters, just waiting for confirmation of that waypoint 0 and approach 0 maneuver. Both vehicles flying at 17,500 miles per hour. And we're just seconds away from converging on waypoint 0, standing by for that approach maneuver.
Dragon, SpaceX on the big loop. Approach 0 has started and the trajectory has converged on waypoint 1. You can expect arrival at waypoint 1 at 1025 UTC.
SpaceX Freedom, we copy.
And with that, the teams have confirmed a good approach 0. That was a good burn, and we're converged onto the next waypoint, waypoint 1, being 220 meters right in front of the International Space Station. The read from the crew operations resource engineer to the crew aboard Dragon Freedom confirms that we're looking at 4:25 a.m. Central Time for that expected arrival time at waypoint 1. Again, the teams have polled a go, no-go for passing those two waypoints, waypoint 0 and waypoint 1. So we'll see a maneuver very similar to what we've seen for waypoint 0, where once we reach that waypoint, the approach maneuver will be immediately executed. No hold is expected. However, teams will continue to monitor their performance. Everything's looking good so far. From inside the Dragon cabin, you can see sort of the trajectory. When you look at these trajectories from the displays inside Dragon, what is being calculated in real time are different breakout maneuvers. But right now the plan is to proceed past waypoint 1 and go ahead and command that hold. You can sort of see, though it is in a slightly lower resolution, you can sort of see the docking light on the forward end of Dragon. It has this pulsing phenomenon, and as it pulses, is illuminating the International Space Station. What you're seeing is the forward end of the space station. So the docking port is coming into view as we're almost 3 minutes from that docking axis. It's the forward port, but the docking light itself is illuminating the outside of the station as we continue over in an orbital nighttime over the Pacific Ocean. Now we're listening into the flight control teams. Wanted to report some rationale. Again, we're proceeding past waypoint 1, about 2 minutes from now. This 10 minutes allows the Spartan console here in Mission Control Houston. Spartan is responsible for power and thermal monitoring of the space station systems, looking at some temperature fluctuations in the solar arrays, just wanting those to dampen out just a tad, and so we can expect a
Dragon,
hold.
SpaceX on the big loop, noting approach 1 and soft capture ring extension will begin shortly, and then ground will command the hold ahead of 150 meters. And a reminder that manual impulsive retreat recovery is not permitted.
Copy all, SpaceX.
Dragon Freedom, SpaceX on the big loop. Please confirm that you are ready for final approach and visors are down. MCCX and Houston have pulled go for docking.
SpaceX Freedom, confirm all 4 crew visors down. We're ready for docking.
Copy, Dragon, go for docking. Ground will be enabling approach shortly. And a reminder, once you're inside the crew hands-off point, retreat and breakout are not permitted.
Copy.
Flight control teams reporting that the rate of approach is as expected. Everything's going well. And again, the teams have pulled go to proceed past waypoint 2, coming up in about 10 meters. We're inside 30 meters. Now getting some views of Dragon. In the orbital nighttime, you can see those service section Dracos firing to keep its attitude right on the docking axis and its range rate as expected. Green starboard light and red port light, navigation lights on the forward end of Dragon coming into view. Again, we are in an orbital nighttime, so it is a bit dark. Those specks you see in the frame are dead pixels from the radiation on the camera. Confirmed waypoint 2 arrival. Dragon is now pausing and reconfiguring for its approach to the docking port.
Station Houston on the big loop. Drag is on final approach and is go for docking. Monitor per steps 5 and 6 and 1.102. Dragon approach and retreat monitoring.
Station copies. We see vehicle mode approach to docking port, range decreasing.
We copy.
The waypoint 2 pause is over and we're proceeding with final approach, now inside 18 meters from the International Space Station.
Copy.
SpaceX Freedom is at 10 meters.
Copy 10.
Dragon Commander Michael Lopez Alegria confirming inside 10 meters. Dragon continuing its approach as expected. We may see a brief handover, a loss of video for just a couple of seconds and regain it. There's a chance we'll have it continuously through this, but if we do lose it, we will expect to regain it back by the time of contact.
Five meters.
Copy 5 meters.
Inside 5 meters at the 2 meter mark, we may hear the call out chop, crew hands off procedure. At that point, the crew cannot command an abort. Everything looking good though. Inside 4 meters.
Meters.
Copy 2.
Loss of signal as expected.
Dragon SpaceX soft capture
Contact.
confirmed.
You heard that call out from the Crew Operations Resource Engineer in Hawthorne, California, 4:42 a.m. Central Time. Dragon Freedom has made contact and soft capture with the International Space Station as the two were flying together 262 statute miles over the South Pacific Ocean.
Ring retraction in progress.
Ring retraction proceeding as expected, getting views from one of the cameras on the Japanese exposed facility on the forward end of the space station, seeing the starboard side of the Dragon. As we continue to monitor the progress of this ring retraction, now getting some sun illuminating the nadir or Earth-facing side, and now the whole thing of Dragon Freedom. Sun is rising over the South Pacific Ocean as Dragon and International Space Station continue to fly on a southeastern trajectory.
SpaceX Freedom, you may come on board, and we're opening the hatch.
Copy that, Freedom.
We should be seeing some of the private astronaut mission crew
SpaceX
members.
Freedom on the big loop. We are complete with 4-400 entering ISS.
Copy that, Freedom. Welcome aboard.
Coming together first through the hatches, Marcus Want and Alper Gizarauchi of Sweden and Turkey, respectively, being greeted by the crew of Expedition 70. The two are followed by Walter Villaday, pilot of the Dragon Freedom. Last coming into the International Space Station, Commander Michael Lopez Alegria. "11 crew members representing 7 nations now on board the International Space Station.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
Please begin the welcome ceremony. Andy, Houston on 2. Can you check the mic, please?
On behalf of the Expedition 70 crew, I'd like to welcome Axiom 3 on board the International Space Station. This is an incredibly exciting time for human spaceflight with the third private mission, which is allowing many more countries to participate in the scientific research and technology development that we do on board this orbiting laboratory. We have doubled the number of nationalities on board the space station, going from 4 to 8, which I think is a great testament to the international collaboration which underpins this marvelous space station. I'm also very proud as a European to welcome 4 other Europeans. I think this is the first time in the history of the space station that we have 5 Europeans on board at the same time. And certainly it's the first time that we have 2 Scandinavians on board. So I'm very happy to welcome my fellow Scandinavian, Marcus. But we look forward to the next 2 weeks, to an intense period of work on board the space station. So a big warm welcome to Axiom 3 from us on board the space station.
Thanks, Andy. I think you said it very well. This is really a symbol of how Axiom, in conjunction with NASA and all the partners, is working to expand human access to low Earth orbit. And we've got, as Andy said, so many nationalities represented on board, and this is really symbolic of what we're trying to do to open it up not only to other nations, also to individuals, to researchers, to continue the great work that's been going on board the ISS for the last 2 decades plus. The ride uphill was pretty exciting. Never gets old. I think we probably spent a few more hours in Dragon than we felt like we needed to, but it was all good. Great vehicle. Thanks to you at SpaceX for putting that thing together for us and for such smooth operation. Let me pass the microphone down to my crewmates just for a couple words, and then I'd like to get it back at the very end, if that's okay. Walter? Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. I want to, first of all, thank the expedition crew for this warm welcoming. It's amazing to be up here and to see how much really all the countries and this amazing international collaboration has made in space, creating this outpost. and I'm very grateful for Italy, and just few words in Italian. So thank you, grazie grazie a tutta l'Italia. Vorrei ringraziare non solo l'aeronautica militare ma anche tutte le istituzioni che hanno portato qui questa missione in questo straordinario contesto di collaborazione internazionale in cui abbiamo portato scienza, e per 2 settimane saremo qui a collaborare e lavorare con questo equipaggio internazionale straordinario. Grazie mille, and now I hand over to my colleagues and friend Alper from Turkey.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank first for your kind hospitality to Expedition 7 crew over here. They were waiting for us at the door, actually, so that was a very nice, kind welcoming for us. I would like to thank for everybody for their great effort for us to be able to make it over here in the last 8 months training period, as well as all the counterparts for their contribution for our safe travel to make it over to ISS. We are happy as Turkey to step for the first time in our history, and looking forward to contribute into the science and research efforts over here. And I would like to say a couple words to my country. Türkiye Cumhuriyeti'ni kurarak bizlere emanet eden Gazi Mustafa Kemal Atatürk ve silah arkadaşlarına, bu vatan için canını veren tüm şehitlerimize, buraya adım atmamızı sağlayan güçlü iradesiyle devletimize ve bu imkanları bize sağlayan milletimize şükranlarımı sunuyorum. İstikbal göklerdedir. Now I would like to pass over the microphone to my dear friend Marcus Wandt from Sweden, representing here ESA.
Thank you, Alper. I also want to say first a big thank you to Expedition 70 for greeting us and knocking on our door in the middle of everything. It was pretty amazing. Been flying around and orbiting Earth for 36 hours or so, and then someone knocks on the door. That's pretty strange. And also, I want to say that having this many nationalities on a mission like this, and it just tells me that collaboration can take you very far. Entering the hatch here and meeting other people in space from so many different cultures and places around the world just give me a strong sense of future, which is awesome. I also want to say a few words in Swedish to Sweden. Så hej allihopa där hemma. Det här är förstås en fantastisk känsla. Uppskjutningen var en resa, jag har aldrig varit med om något liknande förut, och sen att få se jorden från ovan och sväva runt och känna att Sverige på ett så kraftfullt och beslutsamt sätt valde att ställa sig långt fram i utvecklingen igen, vilket vi ofta gör, och fortsätter vara ett innovationsland och visa andra att gott samarbete fungerar. För vi har också här pionerat det nya sättet för Europa att ta sig upp och öka frekvensen i rymdutforskningen på ett sätt som vi inte har sett förut. Så otroligt stolt att få representera Sverige och Europa här uppe. All right, thank you. Mike.
Okay. So now I'd like to continue a bit of a tradition that we've started, and that is to award the Universal Astronaut Symbol pin, if I don't lose it, to each of these steely-eyed aviators. I think it's telling that these will be the 7th, 8th, and 9th people that Axiom has provided pins. In fact, since we started flying in 2022, no agency has pinned more new astronauts. And again, this is symbolic of us trying to open up the access to low Earth orbit to more and more people. So first of all, Colonel Walter Villadé, it is my pleasure to... No, I'm going to put it on you.
Oh, right. Hey.
You'll be number 609.
Wow. That's a privilege, Mike. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can stabilize myself without messing.
If you guys can, if you can slide down and have these guys slide here. Thank you. This is a real pleasure to award this pin to the first Turkish astronaut in history. I don't think I need to say anything more. Alper. Can you hold the microphone?
Yep.
Uh-oh. I actually broke it. go. And finally, Marcus. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Mike.
I failed to mention Alper obviously is number 610 and Marcus is 611. And finally, I want to thank all of you guys again for welcoming us aboard. I know that it's tough to have guests in your house, and we promise not to spill any red wine on your white carpet. Thank you, Andy.
Once again, welcome, and we look forward to working with you for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be an incredible mission, and we're excited to have guests.
Thank you to all participants, and welcome aboard Axiom 3 station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.